So, you've been representing our whole relationship. You did not want to be involved at any point in my medication, knowing what I take, knowing when I go to appointments. You won't take me to them. You don't want to know, you don't care. In fact, as early as this morning, I said, would you like me to show you I took my meds? And you said, you don't know, you don't care, you don't get involved. Yet, I just pinned you to the fact that you actually did tell my sister, my mother, and or Hugo that I went off my meds, and then you said you didn't, and then you said you did. So which is it? Because see, you don't actually follow up with me at all about my medication, whereby I'm now learning that you actually have reported that I'm off my meds. Is that true? Who did you tell I was off my meds? Because I'm just wondering. I mean, it's really hard to think about who you told and what you told that got your, what am I, like a domestic partner, a renter, a girlfriend, an investor? I don't know. But it's really hard to remember the day and time when you reported me as being off my meds to get me incarcerated or condemned. Which one was it? Were you hoping I was going... Because did you tell someone I was off my meds and then you led me to Costco? Because that kind of seems like what happened.
I didn't take you to Costco to get
because
okay.
Then how and who did you tell I was off my meds? Let's just start with that. Because you seem super confused. So let's just start with the basics. I'm asking you a simple question about like my HIPAA medical stuff, whereby it seems like you're transmitting information about my medical care, whereby you know nothing, whereby you're never involved. So I'm just curious exactly who, because at this point, you've told an officer I was suicidal. Okay.
Yeah.
I know. We had that discussion. So you're on record for telling an officer I'm suicidal. When, how, where, etc. Who did you tell I was off my meds? Because I don't know where you would get that representation. Because you never ask, you never follow up. In fact, when I talk about my meds, you like change the subject, you shrug, and you say, I don't know about that. In fact, we actually had a huge argument whereby I said the drug name Imitrex, and you said, is that like Viagra? And we got in a huge fight because I said, you're a biomedical engineer. You should at least know the difference between a Imitrex and a Viagra. But that's just my opinion. So I'm just wondering, can you please state for me, because I mean, when I asked you the question, you got a sadistic smile on your face. It pissed me off. So then I asked you again, you got a more sadistic, so then I got out the mirror. Do you see, we're using this mirror now. See what I'm doing? I am cleaning my fish tank, whereby that's why I have this crazy thing on my face. Who did you tell I was off my meds? Okay, was it more than one person? Is that why you're confused?
No, I'm trying to think.
I mean, it's really, really hard to recall the past according to reality, right? Can you just tell me? Just get to the point, Brian. Come on. Yeah, go ahead. Come on, tell me. Because, I mean, I'm actually wondering what your motivation is. Do you think I have, like, a 50% interest in this $2 million house, and that's what makes you nervous and wants to throw me under the bus? Because at no point did you ever say, Jesse, I'm concerned that I think you've gone off your meds. Let's go to the doctor together. I don't remember ever hearing that. In fact, whenever I ask for your help to go to counseling, an appointment, etc., even as early as a few, like yesterday, I asked if you could simply drive me to work once a week and invest 2 hours, and you said no. So I'm not going to get bogged down in the details, but I don't understand why you can't remember who you reported me to say I wasn't taking my meds. whereby I ended up beat up, arrested. My sister made a speech. You made a speech about how much you love. What are you trying to do here? Who is a simple question?
I'm not trying to do anything.
Who? Yes, you are, because you never asked me, "Hey, babe. Hey, roommate. Hey, acquaintance. Do you need help? Would you like me to take you to get your meds? Are you taking your meds? How's it?" Nothing. Nothing. Whereby all we do is argue, and if we have ever stopped arguing and we talk about meds, you decline to participate in the conversation. So I'm actually shocked to find out at this point that you are the one that reported me as not taking medication.
I don't think I did.
Oh, so after all this thinking, your answer is no. You did not. It was not you. I mean, can I play this for Cinemax for the theater here? I have a huge bruise on my ass, which I was saying is not from you, right?
Okay.
If you reported me for being off my meds or abusing meds or doing anything that I was not supposed to do, and now I have a bruise on my ass because you made something up welfare-wise, that really upsets me, and that's a violation of my trust. So why don't you just tell me right now, who specifically did you call, tell, etc., that I stopped taking what? What did you say I stopped taking exactly? I'm just going to put this right here because my hand is getting sore waiting for you to have an answer. Because it's like you did it, but it's like this is my issue about accountability. I can't even get it to work in the Kleenex box. See, I'm sick. So this is what I mean about accountability. You told somebody I was off my meds, whereby it appears it has triggered a series of events. Who was the first person you told? Let's start there.
I don't think I said that.
Okay. Then what was your participation?
With going to Costco?
No. What is your participation in representing I'm not taking my meds at all or whatever? Anything regarding your representation about my medication. Have you discussed my medication with my sister? My half sister Olivia. Do you know her? Do you know my half sister?
She seemed to think that you were off of them.
Is that because of you?
I don't think so.
Is that a yes or a no?
No.
It's not because of you.
No.
So did she ask you if I went off my medication?
I don't think so.
Did you tell her I went off my medication?
I don't think so.
Can you say yes or no? I mean, it's like a yes or no question. Because, I mean, do you talk with my sister so often, so much, for so many hours that you can't remember everything you said, whereby you might have talked about my medication, you might not have? I mean, this is why I'm super confused. I know I did not talk to your family ever about any of your medical conditions, ever. According to, I met you in 99, that's now 25 years. And I never talked to your family at all about any medication, Advil or otherwise. So I'm just wondering, when did you start the dialogue with my family about medication? I'm just wondering because you've always refused that dialogue with me directly. I'm the patient. I live here. I'm the girlfriend or the renter or the, I don't know, the piece of crap that just occupies space. I don't know. But I just want to know, when did the dialogue about me missing medications, how did that start by you? Can you tell me?
I didn't start a dialogue.
Okay, so I just keep asking you, did you transmit any medication information to my family Do I need to list them all? Did you state anything about my medication or my psychiatry to my family before November 8th?
I don't think so.
Okay, can we just look in your phone then? I mean, because you sound unclear, right? I'm guessing it would have been a text, right? I mean, I'll turn this off. You can get to your phone for supportive reasons. But I don't understand why you're talking to my family so much, so intensely, given that we have had a 25-year-old bond, you and me, given that we both aren't that close with our families. Whereby now you're spending more time with your family. Yay, yay, good you. But guess what? I also reconnected with my dad before he died, whereby I consider my dead dad my real dad. Okay? And ever since he died, it's pretty obvious I'm not part of the family, of my family. Whose family do you spend more time with? Mine or yours?
Mine.
Yours, okay. So then why is it so confusing if you talk to my family about my meds or not? It's a yes or no question.
I don't think I did.
Okay, well, I mean, it was pretty obvious when I had the camera off, and then you started making sadistic faces, whereby I think you enjoy this. So,
I don't enjoy it.
then where is it? Because see, there's actually stuff going on right now.
What?
So, this is your chance to just tell me what you said. So, if you want to just tell me what you said and what happened, it's better that you just tell me and I know. Because what I do know is that when I find out things roundabout, especially when it's about my medication, whereby that's a specifically prohibited topic, whereby numerous times I've tried to talk to you about it, asked if we could do biomedical research together. Can I show you the chemical compositions of my med? I'm not a doctor. I don't care. It's not my business, etc. Right? I mean, have you ever been super participatory in my psychiatry? No, you haven't.
No.
So then why are you representing me as being under-medicated?
Well,
So you don't have a reason to represent me as under-medicated. Because, I mean, it sounds like you did. Okay. Whereby you live with me, if you're my domestic partner, your witness statement would be the heaviest, right? Right. So, I mean, you could get me committed just based on your own statement that I wasn't taking my medication, whereby that's not my recollection of how things are. Where I feel like I have a domestic partner who wants to represent me as going crazy, whereby I actively participate in all of my psychiatry, psychology, therapy, etc., whereby I like to feel good. I don't like to feel crappy. Whereby if there's an issue between you and me, it would be nice if there was some accountability by you that is not indicative of an off-medicated thing. Okay, whereby I simply dislike you, I think you're rude, you're degrading, you gaslight me, and you invalidate me every day, no matter what, on everything. I could literally say something yesterday we could disagree about it. I could agree with you today, and you would then disagree with me again. So as my I mean, this is your chance. Please represent me however you want. I'm just wondering why you're representing me as under-medicated when really the issue is I've asked you to go to therapy for years with me for our counseling, for our problems. Is this interpersonal drama and bullshit whereby you and I don't get along? Or am I off-label, under-medicated, bipolar, and dissociative, and also schizophrenic, and all these things? Because you kind of sounded super supportive meeting with me in the hospital. Then I come home, you don't want to talk about my meds at all, whereby I kind of do a little barely anything, and it sounds like you were the reporter saying that I'm not medicated properly. Can you explain? I don't understand that. Can you tell me why?
I'm not saying you're under-medicated, Jess.
So what is your representation of my medication regime, and who did you make it to?
I don't have a representation.
So you did not make any statement about my medication to anyone, ever. Never. Yes or no? Do I need an attorney? I'm literally asking you that. I think I need an attorney, don't I? I don't understand what your motivation is to hurt me like this. Why are you trying to have me legally, incompetenced? I'm not challenging you for half of the house. I know I'm not married to you. Is that why? Is that why you want to have me legally condemned? Or do you just hate me? Do you hate me because I loved you and wanted you to go to counseling so we could work it out, so I could feel seen, heard, and understood? I don't understand why you're representing me as under-medicated and not following my doctor's orders in a way that got me, banned from Costco, beat up by the cops, incarcerated, and then I was on 250 14-day hold. So I'm just asking you now, as my partner, whereby we live together, see our pictures are on the fridge, etc. It's now your opportunity to confess if you said anything or not, because you've never said anything to me. Whereby I've said a billion times, let's get counseling. In fact, I do think a professional counselor that you actually is a colleague of yours would say I had very simple requests to be seen, heard, and understood, and have time allocated to me as a girlfriend and spend time with me as a friend to do things. I mean, he literally said, Brian, it sounds like Jesse just wants to have a simple real life. So now that we're so complicated 9.5 years later, whereby I'm getting calls that I'm victimizing you, I'm off my medication and I'm abusing you. Do you know that? I'm just curious, why are people telling me I'm off my medication, whereby the only person that could really say that would be me?
I'm not
and
going
you
out saying that, Jess.
Did you ever say I went off my medication to anybody?
I don't think so.
Yes or no?
No.
Can you just repeat the whole thing, because then I had to say yes or no. What's the statement? You did not what?
Jess, I'm not.
Why are you laughing? All I'm asking you is a simple statement, because here's the so you look so confused. I've been trying to get you involved in my therapy, in my groups, in my life, to know my triggers, to know my likes, to know my dislikes, to be a partner, etc., for like a decade domestically, whereby, I mean, we have lived together for 10 years in May. May is our 10-year residential anniversary together. Okay, we moved in like May 2015. So May 2025. Historically, in 10 years, you have never wanted to hear jack crap about anything I'm doing group-wise, otherwise, therapy-wise, certainly not medication-wise, whereby I've literally said, hey, you're a biomedical engineer. Can you help me understand how this medication is different than another medication? So I'm so shocked and confused that you might have gone on record whereby if you did make, do you know it's my legal right to subpoena that?
Sure.
If a citizen made a statement about me that got me put on a legal hold, do you think I didn't read the law books from the hospital while I was in the hospital, whereby there's an actual section about this? If you made a representation that I was not following my doctor's orders, whereby I got attacked almost as if I'm a probationer from the hospital, I'm just giving you a chance as a friend and person who's on the refrigerator and shares coffee with me and stuff. Either you did or you didn't. I'm only asking because to me you would have no knowledge of that, whereby I've actually asked you as a friend to participate in that for years to support me. So I wonder why I've begged for support for 9.5 years, and now it's coming down to it's looking like you made a representation that I'm not following my doctor's orders. Do you know I don't have orders to be on meds? I'm not a probationer.
Sure.
Okay, so there's no orders,
Right.
first of all, right?
Uh-huh.
Do you know I take meds daily?
Yeah.
You do. You do know I take meds daily.
Yeah.
How?
I don't
How
that
do you know
did.
that? How?
You told me.
Okay. I'm just confused how you know anything. Whereby, I mean, you know I pick them up. You know I get them in the mail. You know sometimes I do freak out when we're out of juice. Because I'm like, ew, my meds taste grody. They're so gross, we're out of juice. Can you please get juice? And then I become a juice Karen, right? You've heard that, right? Do you know why I'm a juice Karen? Because my meds taste gross. Okay, so do you know there were actually a few days where I did not take my meds. Do you want me to tell you about them now?
Sure.
Because I was shitting and throwing up and trying not to die. So the only time I don't take my meds is if I'm literally vomiting so much I cannot ingest them. Okay, and then I don't shove them in my butt at all. They're not suppositories. Okay. So I'm just curious, other than perhaps a day I was vomiting, or you've actually seen me have a sweating attack in the hospital whereby I had a panic attack from a needle insertion. I've been like so sweating having the flu. Because see, now I'm recovering because I have this cephalexin treatment for my throat soreness. And I'm not pooping green butt jello. Okay.
Good.
So I know you were like super involved in that to not know anything about it. But what I'm saying is, did you or did you not make some representation to anyone at all that might have gotten me 5250'd?
I didn't think so.
Okay. Can you restate my question? Because it was like your answer was so vague. I forgot even where I am because it took me to another planet. I mean, it's like, could we just get a yes or no? Okay, because like I'm asking you as a friend and someone I live with. You can say, I did it for your benefit or whatever. And then I would say, well, why is that for my benefit when I've been asking you to participate in my care? Whereby, you know I have hospital anxiety. You know I need a ride to the doctor. You know it's a hardship for me to go by myself. Yet you derogatorily refuse to go. And if I ever talk to you about my medication, psychiatry, etc., you poo-poo even the conversation. And when I mention meds at all, you specifically say, I'm not a doctor and I don't even know about that kind of stuff. Like, you don't even want to know, according to, if I fainted and fell on the ground and the paramedics came, what is she taking regularly? You wouldn't even know that, right? No, you wouldn't know. Oh my gosh, okay, so we're getting somewhere. So if I was fainted, like I was passed out. Did you tell anybody while I was passed out I didn't take my meds? No.
Passed out? What?
Well, I mean, didn't I get like hit with pavement when I fell out of the Tacoma or whatever?
Oh.
I mean, I was like, wasn't I like semi-normal? I vaguely remember some faces and stuff.
Okay.
So, I mean, I hit the pavement pretty hard, right?
Yeah.
Did you like try to talk to me or anything, or?
Yeah.
You did?
Stopped the truck and came in.
What did you say?
I said, Jess. And I said, I'm going to call 911.
Okay. So here's my question. All I'm asking, did you make any representation about my medication to anyone that might come up at all regarding the last month of my treatment, whereby I feel like I've been harassed, beat up, incarcerated, and declared mentally incompetent for 7 days, etc., 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 whereby I also feel like a lot of that was triggered by our fighting. I thought I was triggered by our fighting. Did you tell somebody that I was off my meds to defend yourself because I said you're an emotional, rude abuser when we talk, according to being a jerk, rude guy? Is that what happened? You said, oh, well, she's off her meds, she's making this up. Is that what happened? I mean, I'm just trying to get some clarity here, and you're giving me none. But it's almost 30 minutes of evasion, okay? We're at 30 minutes of evasion. So in 3 minutes, I'm going to stop the video at 30 minutes of evasion. All I'm asking is, I'm saying you've never wanted to participate as a boyfriend, as a friend, as someone that has a PhD, as somebody that studied biomedical, as somebody that lives in the same residence as me. For 10 years, you've never wanted to participate in any pill I take, except we just commonly connected after 10 years that we both think brand name Advil is better than generic. That's the only pill conversation we've really had. We have synced a lot on COVID vaccinations, but you have never been involved in my psychiatry at all, except to sometimes drive me to Kaiser in Ventura, where sometimes I pick up medication, whereby that's your only participation. Did you count my pills?
No.
Did you go through my pills?
No.
Do you know what pills I would take on a daily basis if you did find my pills? Like if you found a bottle of random pills and it had a name on it, could you say if I took it without looking at dates, just the name of the pill, whatever it was, would you be able to say?
Yeah, I can name one, yeah.
What? Go ahead and name it. I'm not shy about any of my medications. So are you going to say a lie medication, or are you going to say a medication that I actually have? Because Viagra is not a medication I have, whereby when we had an argument that you found a blue Viagra on the floor, I said it was not my blue Viagra. Because you accused me of having a Viagra that the dog almost got poisoned by. I did not bring home any Viagras, nor do I get assigned Viagras.
I found a blue pill in the bathroom, and it was like a little blue pill.
Yeah, okay, and you said it was a Viagra, okay?
I said it looked like a Viagra.
Okay, sure. All right. So, I'm asking if I found, okay, let's say there was 5 medications here on the table. I mean, I'll go in my room right now because I have bags and bags and bags of medication. Did you go through my first aid supplies?
No.
Should I show the camera? Because I'm organizing the house right now, whereby I'm working on organizing all of my medications, including any back medications, old pills, etc. So did you find like old pills and then you said, oh, I found old pills? Because I mean, I literally have old antibiotics from 1997. If I forgot to take one pill, I still have it. Do you know I'm a hoarder? Because you call me a hoarder. So I'm just wondering, is this kind of like a mistake whereby you found a bag of pills and thought, oh, she quit her meds and there's old pills, and then you check the date and you were confused because I don't know, mixed up the bottle or something. Because like I can show right now, let's just go look, because I'm actually reorganizing the whole house. So I'm just wondering, you know, so see, I'm reorganizing all of the meds. See, the meds are all getting reorganized. See, look. Whereby these are all allergy meds, okay? But then I also have old prescription meds, like an old EpiPen, okay? So I have an old EpiPen. This is my, this is the old fish room, you guys. See, I used to have an aquarium. So I'm turning it into like a guest room, but I'm organizing all my pills. So I'm showing everybody my pills, Brian. Brian? Dr. Purick. Okay. See how much she likes the new bed? I mean, she thinks this is normal because all we do is just argue because you cannot answer a simple question. Okay. Did we like show a pile of pills to Olivia and then she reported it? Because I'm literally organizing a bunch of old pills. Is that the question here? Is that what caused the issue? Olivia went through my stuff? Or are you going to confess that you called somebody and said, I'm refusing psychiatric treatment or something?
I didn't call anybody.
Did you tell my mom?
That you're refusing stuff?
Who did you tell I went off my meds? Who? Who?
I don't think I did.
Who did you tell I went off my meds?
I don't think I did.
Okay, if you did not tell anybody I went off my meds, can you just say, I did not tell anybody you went off your meds?
I don't think I did, Jeff.
Okay. So this is 32 minutes and 26. This is why I say a professional evasion artist. It's like, I know that if you worked for me, if there was a contract that said you can work for me, but you cannot tell me you work for me, according to, you must never say it, according to, you would keep that promise. You know, it's like, that's why I'm trying to say, if it's not in your best interest right now to say you said it and make up with me and say, yeah, because see, what you said was, you said I've been suicidal to a cop, whereby I said, okay, because you're so uninvolved in knowing the difference between suicidal ideation, whereby that's kind of like, yeah, my life sucks. If I die, it's not that bad because life sucks. That's more like, yeah, life sucks, whereby you've also agreed with me several times on that. So if that makes me suicidal, it also makes you suicidal. Because I've literally said, oh my God, I'm so sick. If I don't wake up tomorrow, maybe it's not that bad. And you said, yeah, maybe. You know, it's like, are you agreeing that you hope I die? Or I thought you were agreeing like, yeah, life is tough. You know? So it's just like, that's why I'm just saying, I understood that given the circumstance, you might say, oh yeah, well, she has been suicide. Maybe it's a mental health, you know. Fine. Sort that out in the hospital. What I'm saying, and that was at a scene of an accident, etc. So I'm sure I could see as a friend how that would make sense. What I'm saying is, I consider you to have reported me to somebody who actually tried to get me trapped, to get me incarcerated or arrested or something. I don't know why. Why would you talk to anybody about my meds? Can you just, I mean, it's 20 seconds, last chance. Do you want to say you told anybody or not? I don't think I did. I don't think so. I'm not sure. Who did you tell anybody about my meds? You have a PhD, right?
Yeah.
You do. Okay. What's your PhD in? It's micro engineering, MEMS or something. MEMS. That required memorization of like circuits and info and vocabulary and stuff. That's why I get so confused and pissed when it's like I'm asking you a direct question whereby it's like, I feel like you just reported me to get me arrested and incompetenced or something. Like you're trying to get me Britney Spears, whereby I've asked you to please support me in these things and go on a mental health journey with me,
Sure.
whereby you've always denied me that. So that's why I'm so shocked that you would say I went off my meds, whereby you can't even say what my meds are unless you went and looked at them. But I'm saying I've just been messing with them all this time. That's not even my current meds.
Yeah.
So what would make you think you know anything about my meds?
I don't.
I know. So then why make a statement about it?
I'm not making statements about it.
You did. You did. And the only way that you'll admit to it is if I prove it, correct? You won't admit to it unless I prove you did it, correct?
Well,
I'm just saying for the record, I know you did it. You will not say you did it. All I'm saying is, as a friend, confidant, etc., I really wish you would just say it. And then we could talk about it, but you won't, because my argument here is true. My argument here is true, which is, how would you even know? Why would you even care? And why would you suddenly activate to do that? Whereby I also know you and Olivia got me to Costco exactly at the time I was arrested, exactly at the time I was supposed to talk to a senior deputy at Santa Barbara Sheriff's Department about a sexual assault. I had a 6 o'clock appointment, but I think I got arrested around the same time, and I got a rough ride from a guy named John, whereby now I'm scared to say anything because some of my friends are even turning against me. So that's kind of sad. But I did really trust you, and I did want to say I've always asked to include you in my therapy and treatment, whereby I'm very open about it. In fact, I even lead groups, whereby I never forget my meds, whereby I actually like my meds. So, I mean, you can just make faces and stuff, but you actually don't know anything about my meds, except a few times you have said, oh, well, changing that has been the best change you've ever made, or, you know, something like, I mean, it's like a global thing, like maybe you know about what I do every 3 years. But, I mean, you don't know that we tweak my meds every 3 months or something, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, you wouldn't know that. Yeah. So, I mean, if I, like, stop taking blood pressure meds, maybe you'd know, but probably not. Yeah. So, anyways, okay, well, I mean, last chance for comments, because I'm just saying, as a friend, you were never there. Never there as a friend, as a roommate, as a domestic partner, as a domestic cohabitator, etc. I'm also very sad that you will not just confess to it, whereby then we could just have a conversation about it, whereby when you told me, you told the sheriff I was suicidal,
Yeah.
I understood possibly your mistaken terms. Because suicidal is like making a plan to kill oneself. It's not depression associated with hating your life or thinking things suck. So I would say, yeah, I do think things suck. But also, you've said you feel the same way, whereby sometimes when I've ever said, oh yeah, if I don't wake up from this cold, my life is so crappy, you said, yeah, I feel the same way and stuff. So, I mean, I thought it was just like sarcastic kind of life sucks joking. I'll be more careful about that, whereby I think you're actually trying to frame me as a danger to myself and others, which I am not.
Trying to find.
Yeah, so I'm going, how do I record when I take my meds, or do I piss in a cup and show? I mean, what do I do? How do I prove to the world, because I mean, you just reported me, I'm going to prove it. And now you're lying about it. You're evading it. This is omission. It's your specialty, omission. So while we're omitting facts, I'm just letting you know, I came to you, I asked, you made some sadistic, funny smiles as if you thought it was charming, I just found out. So I'm just, for the record, going to say I asked him nicely. He's been saying, let's be partners. Let's be partners. Did you say you ordered me a credit card and you'd buy me gas and we could be friends? Was that all just to get me to Costco?
No.
So that this dirty deed didn't have to take place in our neighborhood, whereby there was like the sheriff on standby and stuff? I don't understand why you won't
There was
just
no
tell.
Costco set up this.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine, because see, I was supposed to be meeting with a senior deputy from Santa Barbara Sheriff's Department regarding a sexual assault. At the exact time, I was beat up by a guy who calls himself Friendly John in uniform. Friendly John in uniform in Costco, whereby my phone stopped working, whereby then you and my sister did not record the incident at all. My sister actually said, I won't help you. I said, Olivia, record this, I'm gonna be assaulted. She said, I won't help you. And you did not record it either, correct?
Yeah, I should have.
You should have, but you didn't, right? I mean, George Floyd, he did not die in vain because somebody took footage that they could have been killed for, right? I mean, to take that footage, praise to God, whoever had the courage to take that footage to prove George Floyd was murdered. Because just holding that camera is like holding a gun to your own head. Because I wanted you to show that I was about to be assaulted, which I was. And you also admitted you saw me be taken by a single man with no female deputy, whereby there were also 2 other deputies who left in their own cars, whereby I was taken by a single man alone in a cop car, whereby I was also basically hogtied and had a rough ride. But it's kind of starting to sound like one of the launching points was you representing I went off my meds.
To who?
Well, see, that's what I asked you. Who did you represent that to?
I'm not representing that.
You're not representing that now. Who did you represent that to in the past? All right. Well, I mean, more evasion. I can't anymore. I'm sorry if you have like a professional non-disclosure on this or something. I don't know. But I don't know why you won't just tell me. It's like I've asked repeatedly for you to be included in my care and you decline. So I'm just shocked that you've made an assertion that I was under-medicated according to your knowledge of nothing. So I'm just going to leave it at that. We did 45 minutes of invalidation and confusion and evasion. And what's the other one? What is the difference between omission? Omission is just to leave it out. Okay, you're good at that too. I mean, just avoid saying it. That's why it's like there's no direct answer, yes or no. I do hope someday that you will tell me where you learned this, because it's fascinating. I mean, I would like to write a book on this technique. It's literally, I mean, it could literally be utilized by governments. So it's 45 minutes. Thank you. I'm going to close this. With Jesse and Brian, we're having a great time. I am not under medicated. I will take my medication. Just like I said this morning. I said, do you want to text my sister and tell her I took my meds? And you said no. So let me know where I should record that. And let me know if you want to check inside my mouth, etc. If I need to pee on a strip, etc. I don't understand where you're going with this. But I'm just saying you had no knowledge to report to anybody anything. Whereby I would confirm, I've numerously times asked you to attend counseling groups, drive me places, be supportive, come to a care appointment with me, etc. And you have declined. Unless I have absolutely demanded it, stamped my foot, said I have no other options, it'll cost me $300 Uber, etc. Then maybe I'll get you to do it if, you know, and then I'll feel guilty and buy you lunch or something. Thanks. So thanks. I would like to let you know, some of my friends are worried about you. You know my best friend Brian?
Yeah.
He's worried about you.
Okay.
I mean, he thinks this is all abuse of the man. Okay? Whereby I just wonder who's being abused here when I'm only asking you, did you report to somebody I was off my meds? Because it seems like that's what occurred. And then you smiled. You smiled and kind of laughed. So I do appreciate that I have a male friend on your side, because it sounds like the Trump administration thinks I forced you to vote for Kamala. But they do want to bring back beating your domestic partner if she's female. So, if I consent to that right now, I mean, I know there's no consent to being assaulted, but I mean, if the Trumps come and they say you have to be assaulted, I mean, that's just my burden as a woman. So, you know, I'm not trying to be sarcastic or a bitch here. I'm trying to say, I find this all very misogynistic, and I find your omission very scary. Whereby I've always tried to have open, honest conversations with you, yet you've been the most secretive individual I have ever met. I know nothing about you, sir. I know nothing about you.
Well,
I know nothing about you. In fact, I think I am just excited that after 25 years, your parents know we're together. Or was that your sister I talked to? I mean, I'm just curious because, like, a few months ago, I said, do your parents even know we're together? And you said no, and they won't. And then...
I didn't say they won't.
And you also said, you said, my parents say I dodged a bullet to not marry you, Jesse. So, it's like, saying that is kind of like saying, my parents hate you, whereby I actually really wanted to have in-laws. Because I actually really liked your family. So, especially your mom, okay? She was really sweet to me. But, of course, she's not going to, like, contradict her only son, who's a doctor, right? Because, I'm just curious, because I talked to you on the phone, and you said you were going to call my doctor at Kaiser Psychiatry, right? When I was in the institution called Kaiser, between the 22nd of November and the 28th of November, approximately 6 to 7 days. I don't know how many hours, but you said, oh, Jesse, well, if I need to clear up that, and your mom said the meds that gave you tardive dyskinesia and blah, 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 all that, and I could talk to your doctor, I could confirm you were actually raped, etc., blah, blah, blah. Remember when you said all that to me while I was in Kaiser? You said that, right?
Yeah.
But then I called you repeatedly and said, dude, if you actually want to talk to my doctor, can you please turn off your spam blocker? Whereby I'm like trying to call you and stuff. Did you ever talk to my doctor at Kaiser directly?
I didn't.
You did not talk to my doctor directly.
When I
No, I'm just saying.
When I got through to somebody, that's when you were getting discharged.
I know. But see, you offered for the first time ever to talk to my doctor. First time ever. And I said, sure. Right? I said yes. But did you?
I tried.
But you tried? What do you mean? How?
I called that number and it went through and you were getting discharged for it.
I know, but we had called you numerous times days before. So all I'm saying is I'm on record while I'm basically 5250'd, which is I was involuntarily hospitalized. That's arrested, by the way. But hospital. I'm arrested by a hospital. That's why there's all those guys that have the jackets that say security. Did you see them? I did not have my own private security guard, as you noticed, but some people did because I was put in max security. Okay? So I'm just noting for this video that I have numerously times for the 10 years we've been together, starting in 2016. In 2016, I started begging you to come to my doctor's appointments with me, specifically psychiatry, to help me work out my antidepressants, and you would not. So that was 2016. That was my first time I think employed the technique of begging to say, please come with me, please help me, I'm really depressed, blah, blah, blah. You would not. The most recent time I've said, yes, please get involved, was at the Kaiser Hospital between 11/22/2024 and 11/28/2024, whereby I said, yes, you may speak with my Kaiser psychiatrist, Dr. Auer, whereby you may certainly tell her those positive affirmations regarding my care and everything else that we talked about on the phone, whereby then I tried to call you a few times and went to spam. But also you knew it was going to spam because you told me it went to spam the time I got arrested. So I'm just like, dude, what's going on? Do you want to be a part of my care? Because, see, you do, okay. Because I'm just wondering, why is it that I've asked you millions and billions of times as soon as, like, this morning, I said, should I write on the calendar? It's right behind your head. Okay, look, that's the calendar. And then we can take a picture and send it to Olivia every day. You can check in my mouth, whatever. Whereby I actually like feeling good, taking my meds, etc. Whereby I always click the refill, blah, blah, blah. Whereby I'm just wondering, are you confused because there was like a bunch of pills and vitamins out? Because it sounds like I've asked you for 10 years to be a part of my psychiatric and psychological care. You've declined, but then for some reason, you reported me as being off my medication to someone, somehow. And this was my documentation that you deny it, entirely in confusion. Whereby this is just part of the gaslighting, just part of the invalidation, whereby I got a boyfriend, partner, etc. here, whomever this is, I don't know. I don't know who you are, Brian, because I've asked you a bunch to be involved in my life. Whereby we sat in front of a professional counselor, a man, and I said, yeah, I just want a real boyfriend. I want him to be involved in my life. I want to do gardening together, grocery shopping, laundry, blah, blah, blah. I don't even care what it is. If we could not afford Hawaii, you could have said, okay, let's drive to Monterey and camp in the back of the truck. But see, it's always about denying me. Denying me. You are a denial expert in that I have asked for your time and attention numerous times to be my friend and confidant, psychologically, emotionally, intimately, etc. And you've denied me. So I'm just shocked that you would report me as off my meds to somebody that incurred this awful chain of events to hurt me. I'm closing the video. Do you want to say anything else?
It's a sad situation, you know.
It's sad. It's almost like you're not even involved. I mean, when you say it's sad, it's like you're so far removed, you're not even accountable.
Oh, you know, this thing about the garage.
Are you bringing up the garage to make me sound paranoid? Because see, what I think you continually do is you continually reduce it to the ridiculous that I'm terrified of a home invasion. No, I said the reason I was terrified is it was like I would imagine a home invasion, whereby I have a reasonable security expectation based on income, zip code, neighborhood, the ability to lock a door, the ability to have a deadbolt, etc. So I don't think I'm crazy. Why are you just suddenly bringing up the garage? What does that have to do with reporting my medication? So are you saying the home invasion thing whereby I said you terrified me in the garage was blocked open with a shampoo bottle by somebody. Then you were outside of the garage at 10:18 p.m. It was completely pitch dark. You had a flashlight either in your hand or on your head, whereby it sounded like there was a man fiddling to open a perpetrator. I don't know if it was a man. I experienced gender confusion. So I just heard rattling, and then I heard banging. I saw a wagging flashlight, so I screamed, "Brian, Brian, is that you?" And the perpetrator banged back, so I screamed louder, etc. Are you saying that you triggering me in the garage, whereby then once after that you actually woke me up in the middle of the night to pretend I had been triggered, where I was actually sleeping with the bulldog, and I recorded that too. Are you saying this is why you said I went off my meds, because you triggered me twice? On purpose? You triggered me twice on purpose to say I went off my meds? And cameras were missing that would show your involvement? Is that what happened? Because the camera is showing you in the front yard in the dark with the flashlight banging on the garage door. Because the garage door shook, so I screamed. You know? Is that why you're... Because you're bringing this up suddenly as if it's related to the medication.
The whole thing
Is it related to the medication? Your shampoo bottle, wedged garage door. You couldn't say, "It's Brian back. It's Brian, it's Brian, it's Brian," while I was screaming instead of attacking the garage door.
I said, "Yes, it's Brian."
Yeah, I didn't hear it, which is why I screamed. So what does this have to do with 58 minutes of medication?
I'm just saying that's when things just kind of fell apart.
So that's when you reported me for being unmedicated?
I didn't report you.
Okay, you did not report to anybody in my family or Kaiser or police or any mandated reporter, anybody that I'm under medicated or unmedicated or improperly caring for myself. Because it sounds, last time, because I just wonder what this has to do with the garage door where you scared the crap out of me and I was mad at you. Whereby I said you're an asshole, don't act like a perpetrator, because perpetrators bang on the garage door. The only one that can sound like Brian D. Purick is Brian D. Purick, whereby if you just say, "It's Brian D. Purick," I would know it's you and not a wildcat or a buffalo or a perpetrator or a rando homeless person. Whereby, is it true
that you prefer to put the trash cans out in the morning, right? So that they do not get dug through by homeless people, right? Is that correct?
I put them out late so they don't get disturbed by anybody.
Yeah, so, I mean, is that a little paranoid of you?
Maybe.
I mean, because I'm personally not worried about somebody wanting 180-pound dog's worth of shit and old coffee grounds, etc. But you do manage to only put the garage bins out in the morning, whereby you've actually said homeless people dig through it because of vagrants in the neighborhood, whereby you've also told me to park off camera to block the vagrants in the neighborhood, whereby I was flipping out. I thought a vagrant in the neighborhood was trying to cram open the garage door. Does that make me psychotic level confused? No, it makes me a regular girl in her pajamas at 10 p.m. doing the laundry. Okay? I thought we had just had a conversation about spilling syrup on the couch in the living room. Therefore, I thought you were cleaning up syrup in the living room. However, you had gone out to check the garage door. I did not know that. I thought you were in the living room cleaning syrup.
Yeah.
So that's why I was screaming. But I also didn't want to flip out and kick a perpetrator if it was you. So I didn't know what to do, whereby I ran and jumped on the garage door to hold it down, where I screamed for help. Does that make me crazy, or does that make me a normal girl? According to your representation of your own actions, is that we should put the garage the side yard garbage bins out on the curb after, like, early as possible in the morning, 3 a.m. or something, so that the homeless population that steals our mail, if we weren't censored, etc., or whatever, you know, it's like, you represent that there's a cucumber bandit homeless person that gets fudgy poop on toilet paper, and then you insult me for wanting your help walking out to my car in the dark so I don't bump into the fudgy homeless toilet paper person. So I don't understand why me freaking out about the garage doors, screaming, Brian, Brian, is that you? There's a homeless perpetrator, or what? I don't know. Why does that make me unmedicated? Because I thought that just made me a girl living with an inconsiderate dude. That's what I thought. I thought, wow, how inconsiderate. And wow, what a lack of accountability to say he did scare me. Wow, what of a lack of accountability to say, oh, I'm going out in the front yard to bang on a garage door that might scare Jessie doing her laundry. You know, it's just like, no matter what, I'm being portrayed as crazy. That's fine. That's fine. Portray me as crazy. But don't portray me as unmedicated. I'm pissed off at you because I don't like you. Okay? That's not a need for more medication. Do you understand that? I think you're rude. I don't like you. Every time I try to resolve something, I feel less heard, less understood, more beaten down, and more worthless every time I talk to you. That's how, after learning it was almost our 10-year anniversary, I started getting out the camera. Whereby, do you know why I had 2 or 3 almost heart attacks with palpitations? Listening to this, it's worse to listen to than it is to live it. I had almost a heart attack listening to how invalidated I am by such an accoladed scientist. I mean, it's a PhD, really. It's a dissertation on whatever you want to call it. I mean, what did I say last night? You said, how do we bridge the gap? How do we be in a relationship again? And I said, what? What? I was so confused. I thought there was a murder threat on you or something because you were so shaken, so upset, saying, and then you said, how can we bridge the gap or something? As if, dude, have I not said it for 25 years? All the reasons? You're a crappy boyfriend? Start with the invalidation. Validate me now. Just say, yeah, I decided that actually I'm not a jerk to scare you in the garage, whereby triggering you by banging on the door was that's such a normal way for a man to communicate with his lady at night. You know, bang SOS, and then I know it's you, right? With the flashlight head or something. I don't know. Anyways, here's my point. It sounds like you relate the reporting of my lack of meds to terrifying me in the garage, whereby there's no camera showing your participation because you, as the camera administrator, the camera you were on in the dark, banging on the door, which would show you were scary, banging.
It wasn't, that camera wasn't connected.
It wasn't
I
connected.
said, Jess, it's me, and I knocked.
Yeah, you banged, and then I screamed again, Brian. Did you say, Jess, it's me louder? Because it sounds like you whispered Jess once, and then you bang, to attack the door, because the door was shaking. But see, now Brian, my friend Brian, is super afraid for you. He's super afraid. He wants to make sure I'm on my meds. How can we convince the whole world that we're on our medication? Because see, you say I need to be on medication, right? Because see, you've never said that to me, to my face, whereby I've even asked that specific question numerous times. I've asked, do you think I'm ADHD, bipolar, PTSD, blah, blah, blah. You won't even read the books, you don't give a shit. You do not give a shit, which is why we're fighting this month. This month, the topic of every fight is, why do you keep saying you care? It's like, are you recording bombing me when I'm like in my pajamas and at my weakest? Because it's like you've never cared before. See, you're kind of smiling and laughing. It's like a sarcastic.
The reason I said I cared was we talked about where things are at. I was understanding where you were at.
Oh, okay. So why do you care now when you have not cared for 9.5 years?
Well, because we talked about things. I thought we were separate. I didn't think we were going out. I thought you were doing your own thing.
Correct. But see, that's because you rejected me, years, rejected me, said you'd get counseling, changed your mind, then rejected me, etc. So I just said, wow, all of this rejection, let's just be friends and live together, and we'll have our own separate social lives, etc. I don't think that's unreasonable given I was rejected, but we still lived together through COVID. We still had dogs together. I told you I'd rent the extra bedroom for Fish Studio, blah, blah, blah. So my point here is, why do you suddenly care? Because you came home one day, shockingly, and said, okay, let's be partners. I'm ready. Let's be 50-50 partners. Let's do it. I said, okay, let's get married. And you said, okay. And I was like, are you high? Remember all this? Do you remember this? I mean, it was like, it was so shocking to me. I said, why now? Because of course I still want that. But I said, why? Did you have a come to Jesus moment? Does your career rely on this? It's like, why did you all of a sudden want to lead me to believe you care? And you said you ordered me a credit card. You said you had no idea I was out of gas. You said you had no idea I was making less money and needed rides. I mean, was that recorded?
Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, maybe?
Was it?
Did you?
I didn't record it.
Okay, because I'm just wondering, because to me it always seems weird when the 99% is rejection and then the 1% is like love bombing, okay? Whereby I don't fall for that anymore, okay? It's like such intense, mean rejection. So when you say, I thought we weren't together, Well, you're right. We weren't together. But I told you, I said, I'm not leaving you as my partner. I'm just going out more because you don't socialize with me. You don't spend time with me. I asked you to commit to 2 hours once a week, and you said no to me as recent as yesterday. So I don't understand, and maybe you could tell me officially for the record, why after 9.5 years of living together and knowing me for 25 years, why would you suddenly come home in the last 30 days, say you want to give me money, you want to be a partner, you care about me this whole time, and it was like, you're ready to finally do it? Why? I said, great. I said, me too. Just tell me why. I mean, this dog wonders why too. The dog is so tired of waiting for you to want to be my partner. I mean, this finger has been bare. I said, just get me any crap at Costco, right? Did I say 30 carats at Tiffany's to put a ring on it? I said, no. I said, if you're a cheap ass engineer, I said, just get me a band at Costco. Just get me something that does not turn my finger green. This was my big standard, right? I mean, that was like 8 years ago, right? And now I'm banned from Costco, according to a trip with you and Olivia, whereby, guess what? I've been a loyal Costco member since we have moved here, whereby I know numerous people by name. How many cashiers, employees, etc. do you know by name at Costco? Because I'm going to challenge being banned based on what's going on here. And it's starting to look like it was instituted by you.
I didn't institute.
Okay.
anything that.
So that's totally fine. That's totally fine. I'm just saying your representation here is you have no memory of representing I was off my meds. Correct?
Yep. So
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, we'll close this out. Is today a day where did you get the credit card you want me to have and spend money on? Or is today a day of deprivation? How's the rest of the day going to go? Because, like, every time we go to do something, I keep saying, okay, sure, let's go to coffee. Then you invalidate me. I don't want to be invalid. In fact, the one time we were about to go somewhere fun, you just came out of the car and said you were going to puke. Were you really sick or were you faking it? Because it was going too good.
no, I was sick.
Okay, you were really sick. Okay. So when you feel better, do you want to spend nice time together, or do you want to not talk and have a timeout, or do you want to continue arguing because you enjoy it so much, but I'll comment I hate it?
I prefer the nice time.
Okay, so you want to spend nice time together. How about we take a nice time out while the dogs take a siesta? How about that? How much of a timeout do you require, Sir Brian D. Bjork?
I don't require a timeout.
Okay, well, I would like one. So let's do 2 hours. In 2 hours, we can reconvene and we can pretend to set everything aside. Okay? So we can go get a nice coffee. We could take the dogs to the Dollar Tree, whatever. But to do that, I'll expect you to agree. I mean, do we need to start doing a certificate to spend time together? Because I'm like scared to go to Dollar Tree with you, whereby you might say I'm off my meds and I'm going to get attacked by Dollar Tree security. Do I need to have you sign a paper saying I'm stable enough to ride in your car? I'm seriously asking. I'm asking. Because I feel like you kind of got me ambushed. I think you reported me as under-medicated and or not complying with psychiatric treatment. I don't know if you, I don't know all the details, but I'm going to get them because it is my legal right. And I have known that since I was in the hospital. However, you seemed to care about me, and you seemed to think, like, it sounded like you wanted to call and help by talking to my doctor. So I said, oh, wow, you do? I thought that was really cool. But then we couldn't get through to you, and then me and the social worker couldn't get through to you, and the case manager. And it's like, I got irritated, and I was like, dude, if you say you care, why is your phone off? Whereby I'm pretty sure in that 6 to 7 days, you did not speak to anybody, correct? Whereby now, can I notify you something at the end of this? You no longer have permission to talk to any of my doctors. Okay, I no longer trust you. Okay, I'm gonna look for a paid medical conservatorship or something whereby I can hire an attorney I trust, because I no longer trust you and my family. Okay, I don't trust you and my family, whereby because I dislike you, that does not mean I'm under medicated. Because I dislike my narcissistic mother or my sister who came here after 5 years demanding I take my meds. What is she talking about, Brian? Demanding I take my meds. I mean, how does she get this? From where?
I didn't hear her say that to you.
Oh, well, it's recorded. I mean, it's, I have a question. Do you know what my Instagram handle is? Because you know I live here, right?
Yeah.
You know I live here, right? And I mean, I would consider, other than 1 or 2 arguments, which is a minimal amount of arguments over the topic, I would consider you to have actually been pretty supportive about my fish keeping. Would you agree?
Yeah.
We only had 1 argument whereby we got in an argument about me renting our former roommate's room, right? You said you wouldn't let me rent, is that Rich's room? Rich used to live there. So I said I wanted to rent Rich's room from you, Brian, because, like, I know if I take up that space, that's a lack of income for you from a renter. So it was also right after COVID, whereby we said Rich was kind of cute, kissed a lot of girls, and licked our dishes, right? Do you need to take a call? Are you calling the police? You're not calling the police? Because, see, a couple of times you've said, should I call the police to me? Which, to me, I consider that a threat.
It's not a threat.
Okay. Because the times you've said, do I need to call the police, I've actually needed a doctor. Okay? So offering to call the police is kind of scary. But that's why I started taking out my camera, because nobody would believe this stuff. Right? Because you're so sweet in person. But nobody would believe this stuff, right?
Well,
So we're going to take a 2-hour break starting from when I turn this off. It sounds like you did not make any representation about my medication according to you having no actual knowledge of it. According to my representation, that I've numerous times asked you to get involved. And I've asked you to get couples counseling with me additionally. So I was not saying only we need I've always said I love therapy. In fact, I've taught groups. Do you know I was the leader of some of those groups? Did you know I lead mental health groups?
okay.
I'm asking. I'm not telling you to receive information. I'm asking, did you know I have led mental health groups recently?
I had suspected so.
Okay. So, I mean, if I start doing things like proving I was completely participating in my own treatment, but this might be just retaliatory according to whatever, our arguing or something. I'm gonna have a real problem because I've just tried to get on a same nice page with you as a friend, whereby as a friend you could have said, well, yeah, I really thought you needed help. Whereby I would have said, well, then why didn't you help me the 40 ways I asked for help? Because you know I asked for help, right? You don't?
Did you ask for help?
Yeah, I asked you for help a bunch. Do you remember saying, no thanks, not really, I'm not a doctor, blah, blah. And I've been like, oh, well, no, just, if you just drive me to therapy, and we could talk about it before and after therapy, that would be super supportive as my boyfriend to just, like, drive me, and we could just talk about it, right?
Yeah, I drove you many times now.
Well, like, how many? Because, I mean, in the last 5 years, how many times have you driven me to a medical anything? Because you just recently drove me to Ben's. I gave you $100 of my mom's money for that, to drive me to Ben's and work. Because really you complain a lot about driving me places, so I gave you $100, which I solicited from my mom, whereby I actually told my mom this, apparently it's a story I made up, that we should give Brian some gas money, it'll make him happy, whereby I've been telling my mom we can barely afford the house.
Yeah, I didn't know you were saying that.
Yeah, I know. I know you say that. So let's do a 2-hour break, and then we'll pretend like this just didn't ever happen. And what would you like to do?
Let's talk. Okay.
Why don't we get lunch from someplace? Because I'm hungry. So in 2 hours, why don't we get lunch? Okay? Do you remember the other day I said, how about this, Brian? Why don't you write down 5 to 10 lunch topics we could talk about that won't be triggers, won't piss you off? Because see, whenever I pick the topic, you hate it. You roll your eyes, you don't like it, you act like I'm stupid, etc. Okay? So if I want to talk about repacking the first aid kit, it sucks to you. If I want to talk about home security, I'm paranoid. If I want to ask you about water chemistry, it's making you feel like you're at work. You know, it's like, so here's what my challenge is, because this is recorded. I've asked you this before. Because I don't get the attention I want. You don't like the topics I talk about. Why don't you tell me 5 to 10 topics before, think about it during our 2-hour break. And then we can talk about those topics the whole time. It could literally be anything we have in common. The salinity of salt water, the consistency of dog shit, the status of the dog toys, making a pergola in the side yard, gardening. Shall we do backyard pumpkins ever again? Are we going to get a backyard chicken? You know, I mean, I could come up with 100 topics right now. Do you understand this? Do you understand why I feel like a waitress? This is me as a waitress, whereby I say, hey, let's talk about gardening. He says, I don't like that. We could talk about the dog. What?
I like gardening.
So that's what I'm saying. Today, because we're recording, whereby anything I want to talk about is a forbidden topic at the time. If, this is what I said last time. This is my challenge to you. If you want to go do something with me, let's say in 2 hours, we'll spend 2 hours together. Okay?
All right, let's figure it out, okay?
So that's a no. You want to reconvene in 2 hours with no agreement of if we're going to spend time together or not. Is that correct? Because see, you didn't say yes or no, you said yeah. See, and this is, it's impossible to pin you down, whereby it's like, you act like I ruined your life asking you to celebrate Valentine's Day, whereby the only reason I cried about no Valentine's Day is I can't get a date with you. Do you understand? I'm saying, gee, Brian, do you make business appointments?
So let's talk in 2 hours, okay?
Okay, so talk in 2 hours with no interest to spend time together. because I'm gonna go do something else for 2 hours. If I'm gonna go get my own lunch and stuff. So if you don't want to have lunch together, if you don't want to spend time, I'm not going to waste my day whereby I don't do stuff, you know. So, in 2 hours, we will resume talking, the end, whereby I will expect to spend no time with you today outside of perhaps speaking and if I see you on the couch, etc. Whereby I don't sit around waiting for future plans until you feel like if you're in the mood at the moment. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't do other things today because you said we were going to go get breakfast.
Yeah.
Then there was a drama. Okay, a drama, an argument. Then I reset. Then you said we'll go get breakfast again. Then you puked. Now there's a drama. I'm telling you, we're not spending time together at all today. But we can talk in 2 hours if you feel like it. But I accept dates and plans in advance, whereby you do not do that. Whereby you act surprised that I wanted to go make friends in LA or Santa Barbara, whereby they actually say, yeah, let's do book club on Tuesday. Or yeah, let's meet up for coffee on a Friday or a Wednesday. Or hey, I can't make it this week. Let's change the day. This is normal. That's normal. When was the last time you hung out with a friend, Brian? Do you have friends? Because I've not met any of your friends, have I? Because I was excluded from meeting your friend Vittorio. Because you met with his fiance and Vittorio in our front yard and told me I was not invited, whereby we were actually together and we lived here. So I got mad. Whereby the same thing happened with your colleague Nick. He was dropping off some crap with his fiance, and I was not supposed to come in the yard for some kind of confidentiality. But he had his girlfriend. So that's the second example, whereby one time Chris picked you up to go mountain boarding or something, mountain biking, or Chris, your pirate friend. Chris, you've known him since before you met me, which means you've been friends with him more than 25 years. One time he came to our house on Aria Del Mar and you said basically, yeah, you're not going to meet him, so don't bother coming out. How many of your friends have you introduced me to? Because see, I wanted to introduce you to all my friends. I was like, meet my friends. And until I said, our relationship is over, Brian, I'm going to date other people, whereby you rejected me for 7 years, physically, sexually, intimately. You've never given me a physical compliment in my whole life. It's like this dude is the picture of not into me. You're not into me. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to go make friends, go to LA, whatever. Okay, bye. Then you're jealous. You say, why, what? I'm not invited. Whereby the first time you ever met a friend was when our relationship had deteriorated so much. I said, yeah, I'm dating other people after 7 years of your rejection. So my first friend you met, except by accident. I do remember one time you met a friend of mine by accident. We were at the Fry's. And my friend Katie and her boyfriend Jeremy walked up at the Fry's computer store. And I went to introduce you. I said, this is my boyfriend Brian. And you split. You walked away. Do you remember we got in a fight about that too? So, I mean, it's shocking to me when you say things like, why wasn't I invited to the LA party you threw, Jesse? Well, let's see. Because for 23 years, you didn't go to any of my stuff. I mean, I do remember winning a couple awards at Coldwell Banker and asking you to be my date. Do you remember that? In fact, one time I won an award at Coldwell Banker, and you were a grad student, and you were staying at my house that weekend. And you said, no, you won't go to my award ceremony. Did you go to my award ceremony at Coldwell Banker? Ever? Were you ever? Did you ever go to one? Because I don't remember ever taking anyone to one, except for like another realtor friend, whereby I always had to take another realtor friend because when I won the big award, I was with you and you said no. So that was my biggest award that was actually worth going to. And you said no. Whereby I had to answer questions saying why you weren't there. Which is part of why we kind of stopped dating, I think. But I'm so glad you finally want to get this involved in my medication, whereby I'm actually I'm just shocked that I think you reported me under medicated, whereby you, as soon as this morning were saying you're disinterested in anything about my meds, whereby I sarcastically said, text my sister, tell her I just took my meds. So let's go on to our 2-hour break. I do require that you set time and plans in advance, whereby also if you ruin that time by being rude or invalidating me, I also reserve the right to say, never mind, I won't go. Which is exactly what happened this morning. I didn't want to go.
Well, this morning I was sick, so I went back to bed for a bit.
Yeah, I know, but the first time I said I didn't want to go because you were being so rude and invalidating. That was before you were sick. Because you ate the sandwich because we didn't go to breakfast. Then you got sick from the sandwich. So I'm really excited to find out which citizen made a representation that I was not following my psychiatric treatment as if I'm a probationer. Because I'm not required to take my meds. Do you know what that means? Because I'm not required to take my meds means all my psychiatric treatment is basically dictated by me along with my psychiatrist, whereby it's voluntary and I go so I feel better. Did you know that? Did you know that? It's voluntary.
Okay.
So any meds that I'm required to be on according to you don't exist. I'm not required to be on any meds. Whereby any meds that my doctor has me on, it's because we discussed it and decided it's what's best for me. Whereby I know you won't know what those are because you don't know and don't care. So I'm just saying, if you were the one that made the under-medicated representation, because my sister Olivia would not know shit because I don't talk to her for 5 years, maybe 7. You know that.
Okay.
My mom doesn't know shit either.
I thought she was taking you to a cardiology thing.
Yeah, I know, because I told her you would not drive me.
Actually, I offered to drive.
Yeah, I know. After it was too late. So then I said, well, I need to reschedule it. You said, I don't know. So I had to ask my mom. Do you know what my mom said? My mom said it's her recovery day from the craft fair. So she can't drive that far. So she said no. So then she called Olivia and asked Olivia, whereby she probably had to offer Olivia money. Or I don't know what. But I just want to wrap this up saying, you know I'm not on probation or parole, right?
Yeah.
So you know I go to my privately paid insurance. This is not state of California insurance. This is privately paid according to my company, according to my mom has been paying the actual bill for my privately paid Cadillac Kaiser insurance, whereby I have the highest gold Cadillac plan you can have at Kaiser, whereby the one and only thing my parents have done for me that I would consider cool is they make sure I am medically insured. Okay. So I'm privately insured, voluntarily insured, paid insured, and my treatment is all voluntary, whereby I am not conserved. I know you would like me to be, but if you reported anything that indicates I'm off my meds, that would simply confuse me, given that all my medical treatment is voluntary, including psychiatry, including I do the things that I want to do, whereby the biggest limiting factor is that I can't drive. Whereby I've said numerous times I can't drive and my partner will not drive me. Whereby I almost have to beg you, whereby I just recorded you. I said, can you commit to 2 hours a week driving? You said no. You said no. So I'm just letting you know, I have told psychiatry of Kaiser numerous times, there are other things I would participate in Ventura in person, but I don't have a ride. Because I don't have support. Because you say no. So I'm just flabbergasted. You suddenly inserted yourself legally into my psychiatric care, whereby I've been asking you personally to get involved, like basically my whole life, given I got on antidepressants basically the summer I met you, because my dad was dying and you were my boyfriend. Do you remember that? Okay, so that starts my psychiatric journey the month I met you. Because my dad was in a hospital bed, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't fake his skin falling off and him becoming decrepit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't faking it, right? Did he actually look sick?
Yeah, it looks.
He wasn't just faking it to get insurance money or something? Okay, so you saw my dad die. You saw how depressed I was. So I started asking for help at Kaiser, right? Whereby I voluntarily participated in help from Kaiser to help myself because I like to be happy. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Do you know I'm outgoing and I like a lot of friends? Whereby I want a lot of friends. I want a lot of attention. I want to spend time with people. I want to have real relationships and I want to give them attention. There's nothing wrong with that. Whereby I feel socially isolated all the time living with you. Whereby I constantly ask you to spend time with me, but I'm just flabbergasted that the way you would insert to spend time with me is psychiatrically, whereby I've reported 1,000 times to my psychiatrist, I can't do that because I can't drive. Whereby when I ask you...
I didn't know you said that.
How would you know? You don't ask what I talk about, nor do you care. So I'm going to turn this off. This was a great pleasure as always. This is how it is every day in our house. You invalidate, gaslight, and then I'm a bitch, right? Because I will say I'm a bitch right now. But I'm sick of your invalidation. Whereby it's a massive written legal invalidation to tell me or any entity or my family I am off my meds, whereby you are my domestic partner, yet I have copious amounts of evidence you are not involved to the degree to know anything. However, I can prove not only do you know nothing, you stay so uninvolved, you know less than nothing. You know less than nothing. Whereby I actually think you're the reason this all started. I hope not. So let's press stop. I'm going to press stop.